Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. May I take your order? Starting out topic 8, which is our statistics and data topic. And the first thing we're going to talk about today is just recognizing the difference between questions that are going to give us statistical results and then non-statistical questions. So that's our goal today, is that I can identify and write statistical questions. So just some data vocabulary, and really this is kind of the meat and potatoes of this, is we're going to decide whether a question is a statistical question or it's not. So a statistical question is one that has multiple possible responses, right? This question would have variability. And so I would invite you, if you're following along in the digital notebook or in your notes, to pause and highlight the things that I have highlighted. So some examples of statistical questions are: how tall are students in your school? How many siblings does each student have? Some examples of non-statistical questions: how tall are you? How many days are in March? So I might invite you to pause the screen for a moment and think about the difference between statistical questions and non-statistical questions. If you'll notice these two questions that I'm going to highlight here, one in green and then one in blue, you'll notice that both of these questions deal with height. How tall are students? Or how tall are you? Right, what is the difference between these questions? Right, when I'm asking about how tall are students in your school, there are lots of students in a school and not everybody is the same height. So you would get multiple answers. Lots of different answers, right? I'm 6'3", you might be 5'2", you might be 4'5". So we would have a variability in the answers. Whereas if I ask how tall are you, an individual is only one height. There is only one possible answer. There is only one answer for how many days are in March. So here's our first question. What did Gabe eat for lunch yesterday? So is this a statistical question? Why or why not? I would invite you to pause and come up with a response. So I said this is not a statistical question, but there is only one possible response. There is no variability, right? What did Gabe eat for lunch yesterday? He'd say pizza. He'd say hot dogs. He's not going to say a bunch of different things. Now, had we said, you know, Gabe, what did you eat for lunch every day last month? Then that might be a statistical question because he's going to eat different things every day, right? Let's assume he's not just eating a bologna sandwich every single day for lunch. Another example that I'd like you to pause and try. So Luke asked his classmates a question and recorded the data in a table. Which question might Luke have asked? What is the area of an 8.5-inch by 11-inch sheet of notebook paper? How many sheets of paper did you use last week? Or C, did Bill use notebook paper to write his book report? If you chose B for this question, that would be correct. Right, if we look at the diagram that they gave, right, you can see a number of things that give us hints that the answer is going to be B. First, the title of the graph is sheets of paper used last week. Right. Second, right, the two axes here, again, one is labeled number of sheets, one is labeled number of students. So we can tell that this question that they're asking is going for a statistical question. We are asking a variety of students how many sheets of paper, and notice that every student, right, is saying something different. Let's dissect these questions just briefly, right? On question A, what is the area of an 8.5-inch by 11-inch piece of paper? Right, that's not a statistical question because there's only one answer. There's only one area for that piece of paper. C, did Bill use notebook paper to write his book report? Right. A, I don't know who's writing book reports on paper anymore. He must have had his Chromebook taken away for playing with games. Right? B, it's a yes or no question, right? So the answers here are yes or no, right? But there's only one response, so it's not a statistical question. For both of those reasons, right, using the graph as well as kind of process of elimination, we come up with B. How many sheets of paper did you use last week? Right. Again, go ahead and pause the screen and try this question. Caitlin asks students at another school to see how they feel about a proposal to change the mascot. The frequency table to the right shows the results. Right, this is a frequency table down here in the corner. What question did Caitlin likely ask? Is this a statistical question? Okay, so talking about the school mascot here, the Lincoln School Bulldogs, what question did Caitlin likely ask? If you said something along the lines of, do you like the changes to our mascot, that would be correct, right? Do you like the changes, yes or no? Now technically there is more than one response. There would be some variability, although this is just not the best statistical question. So in part B, how could Caitlin change the question so that there would be more than two possible answers? Again, there's probably lots of different responses here. The one I came up with was, what do you like or dislike about the changes? Right? So maybe people are saying like, I don't like how mean the bulldog looks, or I don't like the yellow background. Maybe we should switch the yellow background in the red font. Right? Maybe I'd like his face to be a little bit more detail. Right? But there would be lots of different responses. All right, we've completed 8-1. If you have any questions, please make sure you come and see me. Otherwise, we're logging on to Savas, and we are completing 8-1. Thanks so much, and have a great day.